if you are, I've totally forgot what I was going to say. Hi! I'm letting you into my actual bedroom and everything today. Welcome to my boudoir. So, all I've done here, you're probably like, why is she lying on a bed? Why has she got those trainers out? I've picked out my favourite trainers to kind of run through. The trainers that are going to benefit you most for what it is that you're doing. So the thing is, with your different kinds of trainers, if you're wearing a running shoe, for example, in a weight training session, and I'm not talking body pump, I'm talking where you are using relatively heavy, like moderate to heavy loads for your own session, whatever it is that you might be doing, you're wearing a running shoe with not a lot of stability in that, because that's what you tend to get from running shoes, it's really going to knock off not only your alignment, but the stability in that as well. Because a lot of weight training, if you have like push actions and pulling actions, which most of your movements are in the gym, you're not going to be able to drive through your heel in order to do that because it's too unstable. And you will find that like there's some, I can't remember what they're called, but there's some Reebok trainers that have like this weird ball thing at the bottom, and I remember them bringing them out, and sometimes they bring out these gimmicky trainers, like them fit flop things. Do you remember them? Or like trainers with a bit of like too much of a heel and they're really unbalanced. Terrible for weight training, absolutely awful. So it might be worth reassessing your footwear and maybe just investing in a couple of pairs of trainers. You can make it as expensive or as cheap as you want really with trainers and build them up over time. You don't have to necessarily go and shell out a fortune. Running trainers, these are classed as cross trainers, but I don't really like them for that. And then actual lifting shoes, and then random shoes that I don't know why I got them out. They can just go. I'm just going to tell you some things to look out for in your training shoes. So the first ones I'm going to run through are running shoes. So what to look for in a running shoe. So you've got cushioning on the bottom. Make sure that they're cushioned enough for your tread. You don't want anything too flat. Make sure that there's enough support and stability. Always get a trainer that is half to a full size bigger than your normal shoe as well, because your feet shunt to the front when you run, and that's when you're going to start losing toenails, you're going to start hurting your feet, and they just get a little bit painful. Make sure that the width at the front of your trainer is wide enough for your foot as well. I have this issue if I don't get Asics and I don't get New Balance, which generally seems to be okay for my feet, but with these, which are also a running shoe, I get a lot of pain in like the bottom end of my foot because my foot's quite wide. If you are stuck with what running shoes to get, you can go to most running shops who specialise in that. They will do like a gait analysis. So all they do is they get you to run on a treadmill. They will analyse your run, your tread, whether you're pronate, supinate, whether you've got a neutral foot, and then they will slow that whole process down of you running and analyse that, and they'll be able to advise you with the best insole if you need an insole and the best trainer as well. So them are just a few things that you can look out for in a running shoe when you are picking your running shoes. If you have got an event coming up, 5k, 10k, half marathon, a client this year who ran the London Marathon, woohoo. Yeah, so that's it. Example, I've got these out and I tend to wear these and these, which match my outfit, just for wandering around the gym with clients. I tend not to really train in them unless I've already got them on and I've forgot my other trainers. I just like them for wandering around because they're really comfy, and this Flyknit stuff on the front lets your foot kind of like spread across it, so you're not like confined into little like tight trainers. It's really important that you get a comfy trainer for your own foot. So again, if you are wearing like running trainers in the gym, that they're quite cushioned, and I like my running trainers to be pretty cushioned, like them New Balance ones, they're cushioned. Asics, I've always worn Asics, they're really cushioned as well. And what you will find, it doesn't give you enough stability through, I find, through my ankle. But I'm going to tell you what to look for in a gym training shoe. So you've got, if you find that you are very unbalanced in the gym, if you're weight training, especially through like pushing actions, so you've got things like lunges, squats, anything like that, you feel unbalanced, unstable, you're probably wearing the wrong shoe. So these are my go-to gym weight training trainers, if you will. They are classed as a cross shoe. These ones, you should be able to run up to a mile in them, but I don't even like doing that. I don't like doing any running in them at all, really, where I can manage it. So what you're looking for in a gym trainer is a flat surface at the front, flat surface at the back. You don't want anything too wobbly, anything too cushioned, anything too unstable, because what happens when you weight train, you are pushing against the resistance, particularly through pushing actions. and all that starts in ground contact on the floor. So you want to create that ground force as much as you can from the bottom through your heel, and then that force is transferred from your foot into your upper body. You're not going to get that if you are wearing the wrong kind of shoe. It's really going to knock you out. Again, if your mechanics aren't right, and that again in essence can affect the rest of the movement through your body. Do that for long enough and you're going to run into problems later down the line if you have this habit for long enough. So that's what you want to look for. Just make sure there's enough space at the front of the shoe as well, then you can spread your foot out, because that's a lot of the technique that you want to be using, especially on things like sumo deadlifts, squats. You want to be able to spread your foot out as much as you can to create stability through your foot. Hence then driving through your heel, transferring the power from the ground into your upper body. That's pretty much it. Enough stability as well. Make sure you've got a nice, stable, tight shoe. Yeah. I also like wearing Converse as well, because they're really flat, really stable. You can tie the high top ones a little bit tighter as well to create more ankle stability. Yeah, there you go. I tend to wear running trainers or these kind of trainers for hit style stuff, if I'm going to body attack, body combat, if I'm going to a class. When I used to teach classes, again, I'm alright getting away with these, but I can tell the difference when I've got to the end of the class. So if you don't want to shell out a ton of money and you've suddenly thought, shit, I'm wearing the wrong footwear, these retail at about 120 quid and they're really good, but you can get away with wearing Converse. They're equally just as flat, and to be honest, if I'm doing a weight session, I prefer to wear these than I do like my Metcons. Ugh, I've got cramp. The holy grail of shoes, which are a complete waste of money for me. This is my biggest bugbear. And let's face it, nobody wants to be one of them twats in the gym who has all the gear and no idea. The thing is with these, if you are doing something very specific and you're very, very into your weight training, you're very into your Olympic lifting, your powerlifting, whatever that might be, you'll get often a lot out of a lifting shoe, because you can see there's like a little heel at the back. Like that's an elevated little like platform on the back of the shoe. This part is really flat and solid, and again it's all about generating power and creating force from the ground, and that's what's going to happen with a lot of your big lifts. So you're talking things like squats, cleans, clean jerk, snatch. Very, very specific movements. With the heel as well, it'll also increase your mobility. So if you've got poor mobility in your ankles and hips, this can help you out with that lift. I don't have this issue because I've got really mobile ankles and hips. So for me, these, I think probably as well because I'm so used to training in these, and I have done for years, I got really excited about buying these, and they're like 200 quid. They're close to like 200 quid, or they were at the time. And I was so excited because obviously Dorothy has red shoes, and I'm like, oh my God, I need some red lifting shoes, and I love them, and I've worn them twice, and that is it, and I hate them. So they live in this little box in my wardrobe with my Jimmy Choo trainers that were also well expensive that I never wear. Yeah, but again, you only need them for things like that. So big movements, Olympic lifting or powerlifting at the gym. What I tend to do in my gym bag is I keep my Converse in there and whatever trainers that I'm wearing, because I'm usually most of the time in these, which I love, by the way. How cute are they? Not a colour that I usually wear, but here we are. That's pretty much it with regards to footwear. Again, you'll kind of get a feel for it. If you go in the gym and you're doing something like, you know, a squat, and you're not quite feeling comfortable, the other thing that you can do, and something that I do, again, if I really have unsuitable footwear, I take my trainers off. It's not totally optimal, but it's better than me like wobbling all over the place in my movements. The other thing is as well, if you want to replicate this action, you know the little like 2.5 plates in the gym, you can pop them underneath your heels for specific exercises. So things like squats, pop them under your heels, straight into your squat from there. And that will help you out massively with improving depth on your squat as well. Like not forever, don't put them under forever, but I see so many people like putting squat plates underneath the heels, and I drop in the conversation like, oh, why are you doing that? And they're like, oh, well, saw it on Instagram. Ah, of course you have. Know why you're doing what it is that you're doing. Don't just take it for granted. You know, there's so many people selling protein and shit on Instagram. and they don't know what they're doing, and they're telling you to put stuff under your heels and you don't know why you're doing it, and telling you to wear these and doing leg extensions in them and you don't know why you're doing it. Yeah. There you go. Oh, last one. If you do want to get some of these, by the way, before I go, there's a website called Zalando, and I think it's Zalando, often have Metcons in the sale. They're on like Metcon 3s now, like they're Metcon 2s. Oh, they're Metcon 2s. I thought they were Metcon 1s. Anyway, they might even have brought out Metcon 4s, and I think they've brought out Metcon RX. So if you really have to be on trend, like me with this season's lifting shoes, all sorts of other kinds of trainers that you can get as well. But do make sure that you know why you're wearing what you're wearing on your feet, and that it is suitable for what it is that you're doing in the gym, because honestly you will see massive improvements from wearing the right footwear. So make sure that you've got the right footwear, kids. Or don't listen to me at all and do what you want. I'm good with that too. Thanks for watching.